And they are like appointment times, days that he has appointed unto us to keep. We know of the 7-day cycle, which is the weekly Shabbat, which we will have tomorrow, or the weekly Sabbath, which we will have tomorrow. But the appointed feasts, from the Passover to the Feast of Unleavened Bread, to Pentecost, or the Feast of Weeks, to the Day of Atonement, Feast of Tabernacles or Booths. These are what the Bible calls feast days or appointed times of the Most High. These are the appointed times of the Most High that he has commanded us, Israelites, to keep. And they are not rituals, as Elder Scales would teach us, that they are not rituals. They all have a spiritual meaning to them. And they are not just based on a historical event that happened in the past, but as Elder Scales pointed out, they also signify a future event that's going to take place. Let me say that again. The appointed times or the feast days are not just based on historical events, but they are based on future events that are going to take place during the return of Hamashiach, whom the world called Jesus the Christ. Now, we just concluded, what feast day did we just conclude? We just concluded the Feast of Tabernacles, which can be found in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, the 33rd verse. And I'm just going to go briefly over the reading of the Feast of Tabernacles from Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, the 33rd verse. And let me say also this, that the feast days is what the Most High pointed out to us. They are scriptural truth versus the traditions of mankind. You understand? Because mankind, Brother Dominique, will tell you to keep Halloween. But the Most High will tell you to keep Feast of Booths or the Feast of Tabernacles. Tradition will tell you to keep what? Sunday. But biblical truth would tell you to keep what? The Sabbath. Y'all see that? Now, Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, we just concluded the Feast of Tabernacles, or of Booths. I'm just going to read it, the 23rd chapter, starting from the 33rd verse, and it reads, "And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying," 34th verse, "Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles, but 7 days unto the Most High." Now, tabernacles are what you call like tents or makeshift dwellings. Okay? Now, the manual instructions for us to keep the Feast of Tabernacles was, first and foremost of all, at the beginning of the first day, was to on the 35th verse was to do what? You can read that, sister. The 35th verse.
On the first day shall be in holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein.
All right, read that again.
On the first day shall be in holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein.
Read it again.
On the first day shall be in holy convocation, and you shall do no servile work therein.
So, in keeping the Feast of Booths, or the Feast of Tabernacles, that first day of the 7-day celebration, or the 7-day dwelling in booths, or in tabernacles, you was to do what, Dominique? These are manual instructions now. You was to gather yourself together in a solemn assembly. Elder Scales, can you give us a definition of a solemn assembly?
Actually, it's like holy.
Exactly.
Dedicated, to worshiping the Most High.
Yes, sir. So whenever you see solemn assembly, it's a holy gathering. It's a holy gathering. You see that, Dominique? So the first instructions in keeping the Feast of Tabernacles was for us to do a holy gathering, to assemble ourselves together. Okay? Y'all can go in the multi-purpose room. Dominique, turn the light on over there. The multi-purpose room. Okay. So on the first day, it shall be in holy convocation. So for the Feast of Tabernacles, we are commanded to do a holy convocation. What's the next manual instructions we are commanded to do in the second portion of that verse, sister?
You shall do no servile work therein.
You shall do no servile work therein. I believe Elder Scales explained that we're not supposed to do no clocking in to no job. So we're not supposed to. What other day we're not supposed to work on? The weekly Shabbat. And we know that it's difficult, sometimes for our people to keep these commandments because of the demands on the certain field of industry they work in. So, in keeping the manual instructions of Feast of Tabernacles, first of all, we're supposed to do on the first day, on the first of a 7-day celebration, or the first of a 7-day dwelling in tents or booths. Because tabernacle simply means tent. Okay? We are to do a holy convocation, and you shall do no servile work therein. Read the 36th verse, sister.
7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High.
Now, we don't have to offer an offering made by fire, right, Elder? Because we can conclude that Hamashiach is our what? Is our what, Dominique? He's our Savior, but he was offered up for us, right? So we don't have to offer no offering made by what?
Fire.
Because Hamashiach is our offering, right?
Right.
Now listen, it says 7 days. Okay.
On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you.
What? Read that again.
On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you.
I thought we was just talking about a 7-day Feast of Tabernacles. Where did this 8-day come from?
Yeah. And ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein.
Now, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and read. Let's go ahead and read through this. The 37th verse. Next verse.
These are the feasts of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations.
Are these the feasts of the Jews or the Most High?
The Most High.
You see that, Dominique? These are the feasts of not the Jews,
Yeah.
but these are not the traditions of the Jews.
Right.
These are the feasts, or wherever you see the word feast, if you're taking notes, wherever you see the word feast, you can put, these are the appointed times of the Most High. Y'all see that? You see that, Dominique? Wherever you see the word feast, you can put, these are the appointed times of the Most High. Elder, can I get that pen right there? That pen? Yes. Thank you. So wherever you see the word feast, you can put appointed time. Okay? So we are supposed to keep these appointed times of the Most High, brother. Next verse is the 37th verse. Read, sister.
Yes. To offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and a drink offering, everything unto his day.
Now we know, once again, it's saying that we are supposed to offer an offering, but we don't have to do that anymore. Why? Because we don't have to offer an offering made by fire or a burnt offering, or because Hamashiach was our offering, right?
Right.
Remember, John the Baptist saw Hamashiach coming on the scene when he was baptizing, and he said, "Behold, the Lamb of God that takes away" what, Dominique? The sin of the world. Because what was one of the animals that our forefathers sacrificed in the Old Testament?
The sheep.
Sheeps. Okay. Read on, sister.
Beside the Sabbats of the Most High, and besides your gifts, and besides all your vows, and besides all your freewill offerings, which ye give unto the Most High.
Okay, I pick it up in the 39th verse. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast or a appointed time unto the Most High 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, which is the holy gathering. And on the 8th day shall be another what?
Sabbath.
You see that?
A holy gathering.
You see that? Where did this 8th day come from? Okay, and the 40th verse. And you shall take you on the first day the broths of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the broth of fig trees, and willows of the brook. And ye shall rejoice before the Most High your Elohim. How many days rejoice, Dominique? 7 days. Ain't no party like a Israelite party.
Yeah.
Because the Israelites, we are to rejoice more than just on one day. 41st verse. And you shall keep it a feast unto the Most High 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. You shall dwell in booths. 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in what?
Booths.
Booths. Now here is the historical significance of the Feast of Tabernacles. 43rd verse. Dominique, can you read that, brother? 43rd verse. Are you following us?
Then your generation may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Most High, I am.
Okay. I want you to read that again, brother, but don't put the mic up to your mouth, so our viewers who are viewing remotely can hear it clear, crystal clear. Thank you, Elder. Same verse, brother.
That your generation may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt.
I am the Most High, your Elohim. Okay, so the 43rd verse is saying again that your generations may know. This is why he wants them to dwell in booths for 7 days, brother. That your generations may know that he made our forefathers who came out of Egypt to dwell in booths when he brought them out of where, Dominique? Egypt. Because when he brought them out of Egypt, he brought them into where? The wilderness. He brought them into the wilderness. And living in the wilderness, you don't have a lot of modern day conveniences, do you? When people go camping, what do they live in? What do they sleep in? Tents, sleeping bags.
Yep.
Ain't this what they call them, Elder? You know, yeah, you build a campfire. You may even have a small generator with you. Why? Because it's not like you are living in the city where with the flip of a switch, everything is coming on. Everything is easily accessible. But when you go to the wilderness, you know, it requires you have to live off the grid.
Right.
Living off the grid, which means you're not living with all the modern day conveniences as you would in the city. So when the Most High brought them out of Egypt, he brought them into the wilderness. And, you know, they was not even going to eat the things that they even ate in Egypt. Because they was going through the wilderness. So that's the historical reason why he wanted our forefathers to teach this Feast of Tabernacles from one generation, Dominique, to the next generation. So that the children of Israel, so that we as the descendants of Israel could remember how he brought us out of Egypt, even though we was not there to experience it like our forefathers. You see that? Now, the future event why he wants us to keep the Feast of Tabernacles is because it points to the coming of Hamashiach when he is going to gather up the Israelites who have been scattered around the world and gather us up unto him, just like our forefathers were commanded in the 39th verse. Read the 39th verse, sister.
Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep the feast unto the Most High 7 days.
Hold up. When you have gathered in the what? The fruit of the land. What is the fruit of the land? The fruit of the land is the crops. Hamashiach said in the gospel, Hamashiach, whom the world called Christ, said in the gospel, what did he say? The harvest is great, Dominique, but the laborers are what?
Few.
Few. Who is the harvest? Who is the fruit of the land that's going to be gathered up? That's the remnant of Israel. From the north, from the east, from the west, from the isles. He is going to what? Gather us up. Just like our forefathers would gather up the fruit of the land, Dominique. Y'all see that? So we see that this is not just talking about a historical event, this Feast of Tabernacles, but it also speaks about the future event. Also, celebrated for 7 days, or the wilderness for 7 days for in Luke's. What does 7 stand for? Say it again, Elder. Completion. 7 is also the number of creation. For 6 days he made the heavens, and he made what? The heaven, the earth, right? And on the 7th day he what? So these appointed times of the Most High, Brother Dominique, you know, and the reason why I'm speaking to everybody, but the reason why I'm calling you out, Dominique, is because you call me a lot and you ask me a lot of questions, which is good. That's good. You understand? But I'm showing you that that everything that Yahweh commands us to do in these scriptures, it has a meaning to it. It has a meaning to it. It's not just tradition. It's not tradition, excuse me. It's not rituals. It's all pointing to something. You understand? So now another thing that the Most High brought to my attention about dwelling in booths or tabernacles for 7 days, because we have a lot of our people who are, and I believe it's good. It's good. Some of our brothers and sisters in celebrating or in keeping this Feast of Tabernacles, they actually set up a tent in their homes. For those of them who only have apartments, and those of them who have homes or houses, they set up tents in their backyard. And as Elder Scales was telling me, that one of his spiritual children, you know, spends 7 days in a tent, you know, or makeshift dwelling. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important that we should keep the Feast of Tabernacles like that, besides just gathering up, you know, for the Holy Shabbat, you know what I'm saying? That first day. I think it's important. And here's why I think it's important, brother and family. Because it'll teach us how to live off the grid. There you go. How to survive. And that's why, Elder, it'll teach our people how to survive. And isn't that something that the Most High was teaching our people how to survive? And for that generation that didn't come out, because of the first generation that did come out was to teach this to their children, and their children's children were to teach it to the children's children, you understand? So that, and those following generations, they was all supposed to, 7 days out of the year, dwell in booths or in tents, so that they can also be mentally prepared to living off the grid. So when the grid crashed, you won't die. Somebody get that wisdom. When the grid crashed, you won't die. Because we're so modernized here in America, we are so modernized here in America, we gotta have a what? Cell phone.
Right.
We gotta have a television. Well, Apostle, what did they do without a television back in the days? I said they went out and found things to do. They wrote. And half the time, and I'm sure Elder Scales can bear witness, they didn't have time to be watching TV because see, back then you didn't have no Walmart. Half the time you had to be out there in that garden planting and growing food.
Right.
Yeah. Because you have to be out there in that garden. Plant, growing food.
Right.
The problem today is children, they have too much time on their hands. And as my old junior high teacher would say, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. You know what that means, Brother Dominique? You know what an idle mind is, brother?
Like we ain't doing that.
That's right. That's when the devil will tempt you. That's when you're kind of vulnerable in that position. You know. So we so modernized here in America that when the grid crashed, a lot of us, most of us ain't gonna make it. But you know who's gonna survive? A lot of those people that live in third world countries are countries that our government, I don't label them this, but countries that our government label as third world countries. Or countries that the CIA label as underdeveloped countries. See, we think we are so high and mighty, rich and wealthy, things of that nature, because of our modern day conveniences. But let me tell you something. Those people in those so-called underdeveloped countries, that's right, they know how to live, Brother Dominique, without 24-hour electricity. I was communicating with someone in Nigeria. They said, Nigeria still has some of our forefathers over there, the southern part. I believe the Igbos. Yes, sir. Thank you. The Igbos. Not all Nigerians, but the Igbos. They are Israelites. And I was speaking to one of them, and was telling me that they don't have 24-hour electricity. But they don't worry about it because they know how to continue to function without 24-hour electricity. Now, you let somebody over here, lights get turned off. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
We act as if it's the end of the world. You let a sister was telling me a lady was complaining about her water went off. But over there in those, what we call, no, not what we call, but what our government classifies as underdeveloped nations are so-called third world nations, you understand? That's what our government labeled them as, not me. I love my people, you understand? And I think that a lot of those people in those underdeveloped nations and so-called, or third world nations, so-called, you understand, are a lot better off than we are with a lot of these modern day conveniences. And their families are more together. They said that even in some of those countries, someone did a statistic on research saying that some of them actually, their lifespan actually is greater than living in America. Because we're so stressed in what we call, in what they call the rat race. Rushing here, and here, and there, and plus half the food that is sold, that are sold in the supermarkets here, brother, is cancerous.
Like, you see something like pork now.
Oh, not just pork, brother. Clone food. They don't even want to label what meat is cloned now. So we could be going in the store and say, okay, we're gonna get us some beef or some lamb chop, because we don't eat pork chop. But you don't know that stuff can be, that lamb chop and beef can be cloned, and the FDA, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or someone said that they don't have to put on the label that it's cloned meat. But when you go to a lot of underdeveloped nations, so-called, or what they call third world nations, they don't have a Walmart. They have outdoor markets that where the farmers, they grow their food, they bring it to the local town, and they set it up. You know, you see some of those people. Yeah, you see some of those people. Like I see a guy that be up here off Berry, here in Fort Worth, Texas, selling watermelons from his truck. He bring them into town because he sell them in the. He make them. Not make them, but he grow them. Excuse me. He grow them, and he brings some of his crops and things up into the city. That's the best stuff to buy right there, brother.
It is fresh.
Fresh produce. Excuse me. Not sprayed with pesticides and all that other stuff, you know. And be careful what I say on Facebook, with these, like the elders say, with these new policies coming out. You know what I'm saying? You know. But I'm just bringing this out to say that the Feast of Tabernacles is very important because it's teaching us how to survive in this wilderness of sin. You understand? It's teaching us how to survive in this wilderness and how to go without. You understand? Because our forefathers had to go without a lot of those Egyptian fineries when they left Egypt into the wilderness. You understand? See, some of our people ain't gonna want to leave America because they love America. They love. They hate being chastised in America, but they love the conveniences of America. You understand? And they're not going to want to be separated from America because of the fineries of America. You understand? You know, but I just wanted to bring that out about this Feast of Tabernacles teaches us how to live off the grid. And it's preparing us mentally, you understand, it's preparing us mentally for what is to come. Y'all see that? So I applaud my brothers and sisters who set up tents and things like that during this 7-day Feast of Tabernacles cycle. You understand? Even for those who go out and break some limbs off and set up a makeshift, you understand? I applaud all that. I love all that. You understand? And you know, we're going to be doing that next year. You understand? I already got some property reserved for us to do that next year in Johnson County. Okay? If you can't do 7, you need to come out there and at least do 1. Okay? And bring them babies too. Matter of fact, I was in Boy Scout as a child. You understand? And you know, I love going out camping. Men love going out camping. Brother Anthony loved going out camping. You understand? Now, Revelation speaks about the mark of the beast. That if you don't have the mark of the beast, what does it tell us we won't be able to do, Dominique? Buy or sell. There you go, brother. There you go. Me and that brother, we spend time on the phone. So he remember. We won't be able to buy or sell. But why would you need to buy or sell? Why would you need to buy food if you grow your own food?
Then like you get like you must still go to the store and get some milk. You have a cow and get milk from him.
Cow, goats, chicken, lay your eggs. You can grow your tomatoes, your beans. You understand? Greens. It's good when you can cook from scratch. You understand? A lot of young people don't know about cooking from scratch. So, those who have been training themselves in the Feast of Tabernacles, because people are asking this question, well, Apostle, we got to eat. So the Most High will understand me taking this mark of the beast. The Most High will understand because he know we got to eat. Yeah, he will not understand. Because these commandments are teaching us something. They are not, that's right, they're warnings before destruction. Right on, right on. They are warnings before destruction. They're not rituals and tradition. If you want that, go to the woefully misinformed Sunday churches. You understand? I love my Sunday pastors. I love you all. And that's why I say you've been woefully misinformed, because I was once a Sunday pastor, and I was once woefully misinformed. Meaning, woefully misinformed, Brother Dominique, means that we were given misinformation. We was, in other words, the miseducation of the Negro is actually the miseducation of the Israelite. You understand? And I wrote about that in my book, in Exodus from Miseducation, meaning a way out. And I found a way out from that Sunday theology of misinformation. I found my Exodus out from that into this truth. You understand? So, a lot of churches only teaching these things as rituals. You understand? But, you know, through the research that Elder Scales has compiled together, and my research, you know, we have found out that these things point to future events that are going to take place. And that they're not just speaking merely or simply of things that took place in the past. They all point, you understand, to future events. Now, so after the 7-day completion has occurred, what is this 8th day? Because this is why we're here. We're here for an 8-day solemn assembly or an 8-day holy assembly. That's why we're here. And a lot of people are sitting in churches and they don't know why they're there. They're just there out of tradition. Why are you there? Well, I'm here because this is the place where my great-grandpa went, my great-grandma went, and where my father and mother went, and where my aunts and aunties go, and where my friends go, and this is why I'm here. So you're just doing that just because it's a family tradition, and it's not the truth. See, tradition is stronger than the truth. Wait a minute, Apostle, did you say that right? Yes, I did. Tradition is stronger than the truth. Why? Because tradition is comfortable.
Yep. There you go.
Truth requires that you decomfort yourself.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
See, this is all I know. I'm comfortable with this. I'm cool with this. You understand? Abraham would have never got to walking in the truth had he not removed himself from his traditional family values, which was what, Dominique? Well, the Apocalypse of Abraham says that his father was into idol worship. You understand? And the Most High told him to remove himself from his father's house. So, we are commanded, after the conclusion of the Feast of Tabernacles, or the dwelling in booths and tents, to do an 8-day holy convocation, or solemn assembly, and to make an offering by fire to the Most High. Read Nehemiah, sister, 8 and 18. Nehemiah 8 and 18.
Also, day by day, from the first day unto the last day, he read in the book of the law of the Most High. And they kept the feast 7 days, and on the 8th day.
And on the what?
And on the 8th day.
And on what?
And on the 8th day.
On the 8th day, read on.
Was a solemn assembly according unto the manner.
Okay. On the 8th day. You see that, y'all? Now, this is Nehemiah. To give you a historical setting on Nehemiah, Nehemiah was one of those Israelites from the tribe, well, he was one of the Israelites that came back from where they had been taken captivity. Where was the southern kingdom of Judah taken captivity to? Babylon. So, Nehemiah, coming back with some of the captives, returning back to Jerusalem to help rebuild the temple, to help rebuild the holy city, Jerusalem, had memory of the book of the law. Now, what is the book of the law? What is the book of the law, Dominique? Work with me, brother.
It tells about the commandments.
That's right. And what do we call the book of the law?
The Torah.
There you go. There you go. It's called the Torah. And sister, what are the books? Name the books of the Torah.
The books of the Torah.
Yes. It's 5 of them.
Leviticus,
Say it again.
Leviticus,
Dominique?
It's Exodus, Deuteronomy,
Deuteronomy?
and Numbers, Jenny.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, Jenny.
Like Elder said, a simple way to remember it, to remember the books of the Torah is simply, like Elder said. What did you say, Elder?
First 5 books.
The first 5 books. Genesis, Exodus, Numbers. The first 5 books. That's listen. And listen, we have to know what Torah is and the books that consist of the Torah. You know why? Because when we are pointing out to a lot of our brothers and sisters who are in the Sunday theology what sin is, we have to be able to convey to them that sin is the transgression of the Torah. And Torah means what? The law of Yahweh, right? And when they ask you, well, what is Torah? You tell them, well, that's the law of the Most High. And then you have to also explain to them the books of the Torah. Now, this is knowledge that we need to know when we are witnessing to them. We need to let them know why we believe what we believe. In hope that they will receive our witness and come and join us next Shabbat. You see that? So, when it says in Nehemiah, the 8th chapter, the 18th verse, he said he read from the book of the law of Elohim. That means he read from Torah. And what did he read? He read about the Feast of Tabernacles. And we can conclude that he was reading from Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, which lists all the appointed times of the feast days of the Most High. And he also read about the, what? 8th day. Okay? Let's read some more. Let's see, just a few more, then we're going to get ready and conclude. For this 8-day solemn holy convocation. Let's go to Ezekiel, the 43rd chapter. Okay, Ezekiel, the 43rd chapter. Let me see, before you read that, brother, I want to get the background. I want to get the background to that particular 43rd chapter. I don't like to read scriptures out of context. Let's see. What verse is listed on the paper, brother?
27.
27, okay. Now listen, the numbers 7 and 8, they have, the numbers 7 and 8, they have spiritual truth in those numbers 7 and 8. Even 6. Because 6, remember, is the number of what? Man. Is that right, Elder? 6 is the number of man. 7 is the number of completion. Now listen. 7 days. 7 days. How long do we keep the Feast of Tabernacles? I mean, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, Elder? Remind me?
Feast of what?
Unleavened bread.
I think it's from, sundown to sundown,
The feast of unleavened bread is what?
7, 8 days?
7.
I think like 7 days or 8 days.
The feast of unleavened bread is the feast of unleavened bread is 7 days. The feast of unleavened bread is 7 days. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Yes. So the reason why I brought that out, Dominique, is so that we can see that this number 7. We see this number 7 throughout the Torah. We see this number 7. 7 days creation. 7 days feast of unleavened bread. 7 days tabernacles. Thank you, Elder. Now, let's go back to Ezekiel. You said the 27th verse, right? Now, okay, read from the 25th to the 27th, Dominique.
Okay. 7 days should
Sit down, prepare.
every day a goat for a sin offering.
A goat for sin offering.
That day should also put a young bullock, bull, and ram out of the
Flock.
without
Blemish. Sister Deborah, read the 26th verse.
7 days shall thy purge the altar and purify it, and they shall consecrate themselves.
All right, Sister Deborah, go ahead and read the 27th verse.
And when these days are expired,
And when these days are expired, when the 7 is expired, read on.
it shall be that unto the 8th day, and so forth, the priest shall make your burnt offerings unto the altar, and your peace offerings, and I will accept you, said the Most High.
Okay. Now we know we don't have to make burnt offerings anymore, right? But here's a spiritual point of view right here. It says that after 7 days have expired, it shall be that upon the 8th day and so forth, the priest shall make your burnt offerings upon the altar and your peace offerings, and I will accept you. Now, Hamashiach, whom the world called Jesus the Christ, Hamashiach, he was offered on the stake, on the cross, as a sacrifice for our sins, right, Brother Dominique? And we are accepted by the Most High because of who, Dominique? Why are we accepted by the Most High? Read it again. Last verse, 27.
And when these days are expired, it shall be that upon the 8th day, and so forth, the priest shall make your burnt offerings unto the altar, and your peace offerings, and I will accept you, saith the Most High.
Dominic, who was our offering for our sin? Hamashiach, right? YAH'S, right? He was not just our burnt offering, but he was also our what? Peace offering. There you go. See, right here in Ezekiel 27, Ezekiel the 43rd chapter, the 27th verse, he's speaking about when the priest would offer those tokens for our burnt offering, for our sins. He will offer those tokens for our burnt offering upon the altar and for our peace offering or our shalom offering. You understand? But we know that those was just shadows of the perfect sacrifice which was to come, right? Who was Hamashiach, who was offered as our sin offering and our shalom offering. You understand? And see, so after the priest made these offerings for our people under the old dispensation, we was accepted by the Most High. You understand? But now under this new dispensation, because of what Hamashiach has done, we are accepted by the Most High. By who, Dominique? Why are we accepted by the Most High now? Because of Hamashiach. It's because of Hamashiach that we are accepted. It says it shall be that upon the 8th day. The 8th day. The 8th day, it represents, so if 6 is the number of man, 7, when we see 7 days, Feast of Unleavened Bread, 7 days of tabernacles, 7 is the number of completion. So what is the 8th? The number 8 means what? The number of new beginning. Eight means new beginnings. And check this out. New creation. You see that? New creation. So what is this 8th day referencing to? What is it pointing to? What does that mean? 8th day new creation. What is it speaking about? 8th day. 8th day. What is it? Yeah, we're going to be in our land. But what is it pointing to, this 8th day? You ever read Revelation? And I saw a what? New heaven. A new earth. But there's going to be no what? No need for the what? Sun. No need for the what? No more death. The 8th day stands for a what? A new creation. It's all telling us all these appointed days, all these feast days, they are all pointing to, like Elder Scales research, they're all pointing to future events that are going to take place.
They're actually all part of the Most High's plan for salvation.
They are all point of the Most High's plan for salvation, and they all point to the establishment of the kingdom of Hamashiach in the earth, and that new creation, where that new city called Jerusalem is going to descend down. We ain't going to need no sun in that new creation, brother. You know why? Because the Most High is going to be our life. Where there will be no more death, no more crying. You know why there'll be no more crying? Why would you cry over something that you don't have no sorrow for? We only cry over things that we feel sorry for, or that we sorrow for. So that's what the 8-day solemn assembly is all about. And that I'm about to conclude. Any words or things you would like to add, Chief Elder Skills?
Just part where they say we won't meet in the sun or moon. People have to understand that if you go back to Genesis, when he created everything, he said the earth was, void. And the Most High said, let there be light. Well, he did that before the sun and moon was ever even created.
Exactly.
Because he is light. And the Most High has no darkness in it. So he was the light before he even put the sun and moon up there. You see that when he said, let there be light, the sun and moon didn't exist yet.
In other words, he was the light from everlasting.
Right.
From everlasting. And at that, we're going to conclude this 8-day solemn holy assembly.